Thank you for joining me. Today we're gonna make tofu scramble. Tofu scramble is one of my favorite breakfast meals to have after every long workout. I can have it for breakfast and I can have it for lunch, mainly because you can switch it up every time. Now before we get started, let me tell you what we're gonna need. First, you need some olive oil, some onion, some green pepper, and if you like other pepper, feel free to add those. I like to add mushrooms, but that's not required. Some black beans, some extra firm tofu, and you'll need to squeeze the water out. Cut up some of your favorite greens, some turmeric. You can add some black salt, but that's not required. Nutritional yeast gives it a cheesy flavor. Some sea salt, and I like to top mine with some avocado. Now let's get started. Okay, so I'm first going to start with putting a little olive oil in my pan. And I bought these little bottles from the dollar store, just so you know. Very easy to put these in. Then I'm going to add in a little onion. I love to start off with onion. Put that in there. I always saute the onion first. Gives it a lot of flavor. The next thing that I love to add in, cut green pepper. I cook those first. These normally take a little while, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. The next thing I normally add in is I cut up a lot of greens from my garden. So this is cut up kale and parsley and oregano and all the other cilantro, sage. Those are most of the greens that I have in my backyard. So I just cut them up, chop them up pretty finely, as quickly as I can. And then I add these into the pan. Now I think because I use a lot of fresh herbs from my garden, I don't put a lot of salt in my food because I have a lot of flavors that are, that come through from the fresh herbs in the garden. So I don't always add in a lot of extra stuff. But for those whose palate really wants a lot of extra, or you still feel like you're needing a little something, I'd suggest, sea salt, not regular salt. There's also a black salt that I often put in tofu. It gives that little bit of egg taste. If you wanted to add a little cheesiness to it, I'd suggest nutritional yeast. And then I always add a lot of turmeric because I have arthritis, so that definitely helps with your bone strength. So I'm gonna start using that one first. I don't know what's there, but Has a little orange color to it. Smells really good. And like I said, I add a lot because I have arthritis, and I've noticed the more greens and turmeric I eat, the less joint pain I have. I'm gonna add in some mushrooms. So I cut up 2 mushrooms before we got started, so that can go in here. The next thing I'll add is I love a little black bean every once in a while. So I'm just gonna add some black beans that I made earlier in the week. And you know, I put in green peppers. One thing I forgot is I often put in orange or yellow pepper. So, you know, any type of pepper that you want to add to this is fine. And so the last thing that I'm going to add in is the tofu. So I use different kinds of tofu, but I always use the different brands, I always use the extra firm. And then I always try to squeeze the water out so there's not a lot of excess water in here. So we'll just sprinkle that in. And I just crumbled it up. Now you can see it's taking that color of the turmeric. It's mixing in with, you know, my greens, such as kale, oregano, parsley, sage, and cilantro. But you can choose whatever you like. I just love to walk around my garden and just pick different things. Whatever you have in your refrigerator, I think is fine. If you don't have kale, or kale doesn't agree with you, spinach is another great option. So I'm gonna put in, I'm sharing this with the boys, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of what I said, that black salt. Not black, I'm not sure why it's called black salt. But it gives that egg smell. And then I'm gonna add in a little bit of the nutritional yeast. Gonna give it a little cheesy flavor. Okay. So this is just about done. I can put this in a bowl. I don't know if I'm showing this. Okay. The other thing that it's good to add, you know, you can add tomatoes to it to put that on top. I also like to put in a fresh avocado. Cut this avocado. Yeah, this is a good one. I don't have a spoon handy, otherwise I would take this out of a spoon, but just put the avocado on top. Okay. And there it is. That is my tofu scramble with avocado on top. That concludes my video on tofu scramble. Thank you so much for watching.